Time now for Ask the Expert. Dogs, like people, do start to break down as they get older.
So what can we do to help? Our resident pet vet, Dr. Katie Heinrich, joining us live this afternoon. And we have Star, 13 years old. And what happens when dogs get older like Star?
So for Star, what she has is a condition called hip dysplasia. And so it's very, very common. It's a genetic condition that dogs are born with, and particularly common in large and giant breed dogs. And as most people know, a normal hip joint is a ball and socket joint, and the head of the femur should fit very nicely into the socket of the hip.
Sure.
And it should be a nice, smooth joint that's very tightly fit. And what happens in some dogs is that they're just born with an abnormally formed joint where there is not a smooth fit and it's actually a little loose. And so over time, because there's just a lot of abnormal movement rolling around in that joint, it breaks down the cartilage in the joint, and over time that forms arthritis. So some dogs show signs as early as 5 months. If it's extremely severe, most dogs you don't see signs until they're middle age to older.
What are those first signs you're going to see that you need to see your vet?
So and this is good to know because a lot of people just attribute it to their dog is slowing down because of old age, and we really shouldn't see that. That usually means that they're uncomfortable in some way, and so one of the things people report is they just have some exercise intolerance. They don't want to go for the walks that they used to. They're slowing down. In particular, people will describe them having trouble getting up from a lying down position in the back end. They kind of do a heave at the end to get themselves up. They can also limp if one hip is worse than the other. You'll see a lameness in either the right or left back leg.
So if your dog's behavior changes, you should get it checked out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you treat it?
So there's many different treatments for arthritis from hip dysplasia. It ranges from non-drug forms.
Star's like, get me out of here.
She's anxious, yeah. Ranges from non-drug forms of treatments that are supplements, like a glucosamine supplement, which is the building blocks of cartilage. Fish oil supplements have been shown to decrease inflammation in joints, and there's acupuncture, there's laser therapy, and moving on from that, there's medical management with drug therapy, which you can use non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs similar to aspirin. You do want to be careful with aspirin in dogs. I always warn people to talk to their vet first before giving aspirin to their dogs because they have a higher incidence of GI ulceration from that than people. But there are pain medications we can use, and as a very last resort, there's surgery that can be done.
Star, you're a fluff ball.
Yes, she is.
Dr. Katie Heinrich, thanks for coming in. Have a question for any of our experts? Send an email to asktheexpert@today'stmj4.com. You may also leave a voicemail. That number